Penny, good morning. How are you?
How's it going, Danielle? Good morning.
Good. I wanted to ask if there's any update on DeAndre and then also on Ahmad. Do you have a timetable for his return to practice and to games possibly?
Ahmad's return was today. He returned to practice today, so that's a great sight for us. DeAndre, I think we have to wait until Friday. It's been very frustrating with that because DeAndre's been practicing with us the entire time, and he's a humongous part. When he's eligible, and I'm speaking that into existence, people will see how important he is for our team, and he's been a big piece of that. So definitely waiting on him to get eligible.
Terry.
What's up, Coach?
What's up, Terry?
Hey, man. It's been how do you fix your offense? Will it just come with time and chemistry build with it? And also, do you expect any lineup changes for starting?
Well, you know what? In the first game, offense worked perfectly against St. Mary's. Against Western Kentucky, kind of got a little selfish and just wasn't making the extra pass. There were people open. We just weren't willing to make the next pass. And against VCU, they took us out of our offense. They did an unbelievable job of just scrapping, overplaying things, trapping a pick and roll. And it came down to decision-making. And we just didn't make the right decision. So the offense itself, I've kind of gone back to what I've done before and kind of made everything much easier for the guys. But it's more on the defensive end of what we really want to do and how we want to play the game and what we want to be known for. And we're probably going to make changes tomorrow. We don't know exactly right now, but there will be changes tomorrow. I'll have it before the game for sure.
Cassie.
Good morning, Coach. You said after the VCU game that the tournament was beneficial because you feel like you know who your team is now. So what do you feel like you have with this team and who do you think they are?
Well, I knew what we had before we went to the tournament. We went to the tournament unified. We went to the tournament ready to play as a team. And it's just to be as real as I can be, man. When these kids get on national TV, things change. You know, it becomes individualized. I think the kids think that if they get off, then that puts them one step closer to their dream. And when you recruit the way that we recruit, you're going to get guys that want to be one and done. And sometimes the chemistry is off. And I'm sure everybody noticed the selfish play on the offensive end, and that's not what we preach. We're always been a team to be one more pass, get the next pass to your teammate, make the right play. And we just stopped doing that the better that the games got. And we came back home and just, said we cannot play that way. We're 1-2 when we shouldn't be 1-2. I'm taking ownership for all of that, and I'm correcting it as we go.
Mitch.
Coach, 2 questions for you. How's practice been this week? And can you talk about the scheduling on the fly that you had to do Friday night for Central Arkansas and like everybody else has done in college basketball? I know Mike Bray was actually looking for a game for Saturday, and a lot of fans on Twitter before that VCU game wanted Memphis to play Notre Dame.
Oh, really? Well, yeah, that was, first of all, scheduling has been like really weird because we didn't know if we were going to go to South Dakota because all the teams were dropping out. Even though we stayed steady and didn't pull out, we just didn't know if the tournament was going to continue. And when you get there with everything that's going on, it was just, we didn't go with our whole team, so teams are going to have to travel without their guys sometimes probably. You didn't have your whole team. And then you get into a tournament where you have really good teams. The mid-major teams that were there were really Western Kentucky, nothing but respect. VCU, nothing but respect. So those teams were tough, and you got to go out there and battle against those teams with everything that's going on. And we ended up losing 2 games, so it was very frustrating. But it was something that we wanted to do to kind of figure out what we were. And putting that Central Arkansas game together at the last minute was something that we needed. We needed more games before we. To try to get to our 17. You got to get to 17 games. And, that's what we're trying to do. We're just trying to schedule as many games that we could. We didn't want to go blank. Whoever wanted to play us, we wanted to play. And if it would have had to happen against Notre Dame, hey, so well, we would have loved to play Notre Dame. We just want to get games in and keep playing.
Mike.
Morning, Penny. Just real quick, you just talked about DeAndre and you said might know by Friday. Is that you being hopeful, or are you getting some sense that Friday may be decision day on DeAndre?
Well, we've gotten a small sense from the compliance department that Friday might be the day that they make the decision on DeAndre, and we're just hoping that they do the right thing.
And the other question I had, when you guys left Sioux Falls for lack of a better term, you were angry at the way things played out over these last couple of days. What's been the mindset of the team as you get ready to play at home tomorrow?
Well, the mindset of the team is that, first of all, we had to admit that we didn't go and play the right way. You know, that's one thing that I'm trying to build here is a culture of playing the game the right way and playing for your brother. And we all had to admit that that wasn't the way that we wanted to represent ourselves, and none of us are losers. So, of course, you know, I got no sleep because those are winnable games that you need to win, but only if you're together. The talent alone isn't enough. I think that's what we understand. So the practices this week has been extremely hard. The guys have been unified. The guys have been together. And that tournament was meant for us to get better, whether we went 3-0, 0-3, or 1-2, or 2-1, whatever. And we did get better from it. And you'll see the difference tomorrow night.
Clayton?
Coach, just on that note, I mean, how excited are you? What is the feel like around the team kind of going into your first home game since March 5th?
Everybody's a little, anxious and angry, ready to get to the next game to prove that we can play together on both ends of the floor. Like we said, we feel embarrassed, man. I coach this team hard. We hold each other accountable. We hold them accountable. They know the do's and don'ts. And to go out there and play that way, nobody's happy about it. So we're excited to get to the game tomorrow.
Will it be good at least to just be back in FedEx Forum, like kind of, getting back to your home?
It will be, just to have our fans to be on our home court. But even more than that, to get to the next game so that we can just get the ball rolling. We were ready for another game the next day to just prove to ourselves that we know that we were better than what we displayed, for sure.
Terry?
Hey, Coach, in the third game, was it a matter of fatigue or doing that third game in the tournament, or they just didn't do what you wanted them to do? And how can you improve that going forward?
Well, it was about toughness. VCU just took it to us, man. We knew what they were going to do going into the game. They make you play for 40 minutes. And if you come out and play selfish, or if you're coming out and not doing your defensive assignments, I mean, you're going to get the result that we got. And I talked about it before the game being the toughest team. We did not need to go 1-2. We were 1-1, and we had an opportunity to do something about it. And we went out and did not play the right way, man. Like I said, I have to take credit for that, even though we don't teach that. I've corrected the mistakes. Guys are going to be held accountable for those actions immediately. You never see me be a guy that pulls the string on guys quickly. But if they're not doing what they're supposed to do now, the string is going to be pulled quickly, man. We cannot wait on guys to try to do the right thing because we've been taught to do things the right way.
Jason?
Hey, Penny, how is recovery from a physical standpoint? Just 3 games in 3 days, first 3 games of the year. How's recovery? And you had talked about making some changes. Are any of the changes you're anticipating making because of injuries or recovery issues?
Well, recovery we had Saturday and Sunday off. So we gave the guys 2 full days off of recovery and rest. And then we got back to work on Monday. But the changes are happening because, one, guys are not just playing well. Other guys are stepping up to the plate. And we need to get the guys on the floor that are producing. This is not, no matter what anybody thinks, favoritism. What we do when we're in practice, we say whoever's playing the best, who's earning those minutes, are going to play. But if that's not carrying over into the games, but it's only happening in practice, then we got to go another route. So we're doing that right now.
Anthony?
Coach, how's it going?
Doing good. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. That was last season. That was like a recurring issue, is where you, excuse me, you would have a game plan. You knew what the opposing team would do, and then something happened where the game plan wasn't followed in the game. Why is that a recurring thing at the beginning of this season?
Well, honestly, it's just the guys, man, this era. If you look around the country, man, I guarantee you every coach has the same argument when it comes to the kids. They remember what they want to remember, and they do what they want to do. Now, I just have to respond, and the guys that aren't doing it, you got to snatch them out. Because when the game plan is set, there's no way for you to make an excuse. Because if you don't do the game plan, we're going to lose. So it's not just with us, it's with everybody. You put a game plan in, it's not what's most important to the guys. I think their mind is more on offense and really trying to go out and get points, so to say. to justify themselves. But as a team, you go out and you think as a game plan. And we just got to change the focus from being individualized and being about the individual person and on the game plan and the team.
You said that you wanted to go play in this tournament so you guys would know who you are. Mm-hmm. Who are you?
Well, from that tournament, we were soft and we were selfish. And there's no way I'm going to have that. We're a representation of our city. We got a grit and grind city. My style, ever since I've been a coach, has been hard-nosed and getting in your face and pressing. And I'm just getting back to me. We're not going to be that team. We're just not going to be that team. So things have changed in practice, and things are going to change during the games.
I remember during a press conference last year, I don't know what was said first, but you responded kind of jokingly saying, "Hey, bro, it's nothing soft about me." How do you transfer that mentality to the team?
Well, in this era of a lot of kids that are feeling entitled, you just it's playing time. If you don't do it right, you sit on the bench. That's the only way you can get to these kids. You can talk to your blue in the face, you can beg, you can put great game plans in. We teach harder than anybody. We develop more than anybody. But if you get in the game and then go against the game plan, then you come into the bench no matter who you are.
This during this COVID times, games on the schedule are all pretty much tentative. You don't know what games you're going to actually play. Do you have a list of teams or coaches that you have relationships with that you've already talked to? Hey, in case these games get bumped off our schedule, would you be interested in getting on the schedule so we can get to our 17 games?
You know what? I think that's going to be a scramble because I have not done that. I don't know if a lot of guys have done that. I don't know if the games aren't going to be played. Like you said, everything is to be decided at the last minute, depending on what the COVID tests are coming out of the testing for both teams. So I have not gone to that level where I've called on friends and say, hey, if you can't play and the team that you're playing against has a COVID situation and then our team has a COVID situation, do you want to just play one another? I don't know how that will work, but we'll see.
Last question. How difficult was it to keep the team isolated for nobody to contract coronavirus in South Dakota with their numbers spiking so high?
You know, it was very easy because at the hotel, there was no one allowed, not the maid service, not room service, no visitors. Everybody that was with the respective teams had to get tested every day or every other day, and they didn't allow anything in or anything out. So it was very easy for you. When you went to your room, they had every team had their own room. You went to your room and you left your room with your team, you went back to your hotel room. And you never wandered in the lobby. There was never anybody just out, just hanging out. When everybody was done doing what they were supposed to do with film or eating their meals, you went back to your room.
Thanks, Coach.
Danielle?
And when you said there's going to be some changes made in practice, can you elaborate on what those changes are?
Well, we went from being an offensive-minded team and really focusing on 50-50 is 95% defense, 5% offense, because we'll create our offense on our defense. We've just switched it all the way up. I just went back to my East days, Team Penny days, Lester days, and that's how I've always taught, and I have to be true to myself. After that tournament, I cannot try to disguise this or disguise that. I have to be who I am. And we're not going to lose another game without fighting, scrapping, energy, toughness. We'll never lose another game without that ever again.
Mitch?
Coach, can you talk a little bit about Arkansas State? What do you see on the film, and what do you expect out of Arkansas State tomorrow night?
Well, their best players are guards, and that's something that we've been having a problem with, even in the tournament in South Dakota. Those two guards are going to try to impose their will on our team. Offensively, they're going to run plays to get those guys the ball. The point guard is going to be aggressive. The shooting guard is the best player, and we know we have our hands cut out for us with those two guys. Not disrespecting anybody else, but they're a guard-heavy team. And then defensively, they're going to play zone. So we got to create turnovers. We got to turn the heat up. We got to pressure. We got to get in their face. And we got to be ready for nothing but energy from everybody that steps on that floor.
Mike?
Penny, you mentioned, the home opener tomorrow. I know you're excited to be back, but just how weird is it going to be? It's not going to be your 17,000 standing room only at the Forum. It's only, how have you processed yet how different it's going to be tomorrow when you roll the ball out at the Forum?
Yeah, well, you know, just having the tournament in South Dakota kind of got us prepared for that because there were no fans in the stands at all. So we welcome coming back home and actually having some fans in the stands. So it was really weird to try to motivate and keep going without seeing anybody in the arena. You got these little posters and these little pop-ups all over the seats to try to make it seem as if it was a crowd, and then you got the Jumbotron and things of that nature. But it's going to be a welcome look for us tomorrow with our actual fans and family in the stands.
For you though, do you think the guys are a little excited because of everything that they've gone through to be able to go home, if you will, and play in their building?
Yeah, everybody's ready to play in the Forum. You know, even the guys that are new, they've never been in the Forum. Today is our first day actually here to be able to practice in the Forum the day before the game. So they're all excited, out on the floor, dribbling the ball, shooting on the baskets, and really excited for tomorrow's game.
Terry?
Hey, Coach, I know last year you gave your team a lot of rope offensively. I know you say you concentrating a lot on defense. Have you shortened that rope up any on the offensive end yet?
Yes, I have. Yes, I have, because we took a ton of bad shots in South Dakota. Bad shots are like turnovers, you know, and we've changed the offense up a little bit to where we're getting the ball in more scoring positions instead of always catching it outside the three-point line. So, like I said, I've kind of gone back to my roots, and you'll see a difference.
Anthony?
Coach, from the players that you had last year to this year, who do you see being as the most improved?
I can't really say one kid, honestly, that's been most improved. If I had to guess it, it probably would be Boogie, because Boogie really didn't have a great season last year. But he's coming back in and he's shooting the ball. There's some other areas that he has to grow in. But last year he wasn't making shots and he was struggling in a lot of areas and he was frustrated. And this year I can just see the maturity in him. I can see that his game is getting better. And, you know, that would be one guy that I would say.
How close is Malcolm to being 100%? One of the first things I noticed when I saw him in the St. Mary's game, he's a lot quicker on his feet and he's slimmed down a lot. So
yeah, you know, he's basically been looking forward to this season. There are minute restrictions for his knees because he does still have some ailments. But when he has energy, man, to me, there's no better big man in our conference because he's so skilled. Just unfortunate that he has those knee pains, and it kind of prohibits him from just kind of going how he wants to go. But the minutes that he gives us are definitely wanted and needed.
What can we expect from Lance Thomas this year? He seems to be like the ultimate teammate. Even in the game or not, he cheers for his teammates when they make plays and things like that. What can we expect from his play this year?
Yeah, Lance is what you call a coach's dream when it comes to the team and out there on the court. Whether he's on the court or not, he's always engaged. And that's what you want your team to be. You want your team to be engaged because when it's time to go in the game, you know what's going on. And you want support. You want support for the staff. You want support for your teammates. And you need that positive energy. And Lance is always that guy with positive energy. And when he comes in the game, we need him to knock down shots. And we need him to rebound and block shots.
Mark, last question.
Hey, Penny. I'm curious. You guys always talk about positionless basketball, but obviously having a point guard is important. How would you evaluate the point guard play so far for you guys?
Well, with me being a point guard, you know, that played the game, the point guard spot right now is not doing well. You know, Damian is obviously playing better than Alex, and but the position itself is not flourishing. You know, it doesn't mean that their hearts are in the wrong place. Their hearts are in the right place. It's just we're not getting it done, and I think that they would agree themselves. So the point guard spot right now is a struggle, but I have the utmost confidence in what we changed when we came back home and moving forward that their position is going to get better.